Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Check your encoder settings, keyframe interval. Okay, I'm not really sure. All right, so let's see. So I'm going to pause here real quick because it says my stream. Well, it says it's excellent, so we're just going to go with it. Stream settings. All right, well, it says perfect, so we'll go with it. Hi, guys. Donnie Rouse here, and I am just going to go right into it. This is inspired pretty much by some work that I had been doing on myself and things that I wanted to share to help you get to experience the most out of your life, but also just creating a life on your terms and a life that you're going to find enjoyable and successful, again, defined by you. So we're just going to go right into it. Hi, guys. My name is Donnie Rouse, and you are listening to the podcast, One Life, Defining Experiences. Do you feel like you're at a crossroads, like you want to do one thing, but you're restricted by something else? And what I'm referring here to is a goal that you have, something you want to do, an experience. Could be maybe taking a trip to Italy, could be getting that bathing suit that you will look so sexy in when the summer comes and you're on the beach. But you're not really sure how to connect the dots. What I want to tell you here is that the way to become the best version of yourself, the way to improve and grow, is to go after those experiences that are going to leave you happy and fulfilled. What do you mean? I'm saying that if you want to go travel the world, if you want to go have espresso in Italy and eat pizza in Naples, that is going to make you into a better person, and I will explain why. But first, I want you to just get clear about where you are in life. Like, first, let's start at a happy place. What do you want to experience? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to taste? What do you want to see? Get really, really defined about what these are, because these experiences are things that will live with you for the rest of your life. And they are also known to bring you more joy than any material possession could ever give you. So write some of those down. Secondly, in order to get that thing, to experience that thing, to have that thing, what do you have to do? Who do you have to become is the better question. And then lastly, how would that change your life? Often you don't hear the two things put together. People will not say, oh, going to Italy is going to make you a better person. Although if you listen to my channel, I will tell you that. I'll tell you that travel will literally change your entire life because it just gives you a new perspective on life. You see things differently. You start to appreciate people, and all of a sudden you realize, like, the day-to-day shit that you go through, like the flat tire or getting fired at work. You're like, that's fine. There's worse things. So I want to go into just how an experience can shape who you are and your identity. And I'm going to use the example of my weightlifting competition. Years ago in 2017, I did my first weightlifting competition. Prior to that competition, I didn't do any kind of meal prep, right? I ate healthy, but I wasn't getting the calories to sustain and build muscle. So I just kind of was at this plateau. And I was like, all right, well, I'm just kind of getting by. My body looked great, but I wasn't growing in the aspect of my health. Then one day I accepted a challenge from a friend to join a weightlifting competition. And it was having that experience. I had actually wanted to have that experience for a while, but I never took action on it. It was having that experience that all of a sudden now, in order to reach this experience, which was to be on stage and compete, all of a sudden, like, I had to be extremely disciplined with everything from food to working out every single day. Let me ask you a question. What kind of effect do you think that had on my life? Doing meal prep for example. Right, if I was prepping every single meal and wasn't cheating outside of that, what do you think? Do you think I was swayed by seeing a bag of Fritos, which I really like Fritos? Now I'll have some, but do you think that I was willing to cheat, having this clear vision of what it was that I wanted to experience? Do you think I was tempted by these little things? I was not at all, actually, in the entire 6 months and even well beyond that of prep time. I didn't cheat once. I think I missed one. I don't know if I missed one meal or one workout in that entire 6 months, but the entire time I was on, I made sure I got every single meal in, and I didn't vary from that path. So, okay, well, why do I tell you this? Because when I look at who I am now it's no longer, if someone says like, oh, do you work out? I'm like, yeah, I compete. I haven't competed since 2017, right? But now it's become part of my identity. I'll give you one more example. World traveler. In 2004, I had done a trip to Italy. And, well, actually, I did a trip to, it was a tour of Europe. And I had been to Italy before that. But I wouldn't have described myself as a world traveler then. So after doing this trip, I went to Italy. I spent 4 months there. And again, I wasn't saying I was a world traveler, but then after that, I realized how big the world is and how beautiful it is and how many different experiences and different ways of living there are. And then I started to venture into different places. And the identity came in that I am a world traveler. I want to hit, if you've heard me here, you know that I want to hit every single country that in the world. And all of a sudden now, it's become part of my identity because I've been to 48 countries so far. But here's the juicy part, and this is what I really, really want you to listen to and get the juice that is here. Who do I have to become in order to do that? Who do I have to become in order to travel every single country in the world? Right? It's, well, one, character-wise and personality. What kind of person travels to these places? Who do you have to be in order to be comfortable in these spots to say, okay, well, I am going to go to Saudi Arabia, or I am going to go to Laos. I am going to go to Nigeria, wherever it may be. What kind of person does that? Right? It's not the person who literally stays in their cocoon and doesn't get out and talk to people. You have to be sociable. So it shapes you there. And how much is that going to cost? If I'm trying to do all those trips, it's going to get expensive. So who do I have to become in the area of my career and finances in order to achieve this? So the message I want you to walk away with, just by listening to that, is a win anywhere is a win everywhere. Let me say that one more time and put some emphasis in it. A win anywhere is a win everywhere. Meaning when one area of your life, when you thrive in one area of your life, it spills over into all the other categories of your life. Right? Don't you know that? When you feel really good in your health, you excel, like you're able to just expense more energy to stay with, be with your family, to put into your career, to the mental energy to put into your finances and learn new skills. Everything improves when you improve one single category of your life. And so what I'm trying to tell you, the reason I'm here now is because I want you to live your one life, right? Not putting off the experiences that are going to leave you lit up and feeling joyful. Because it is possible for you to be happy, to have everything you want while doing the work, right? Because by having this kind of methodology, by thinking about it this way, you can't help but to enjoy the process of who you're becoming, because you always have to put focus on where that destination is. So let's go back to the question, what is it that you want to experience? What would light you up if you were to experience it in the next 5 years? And then how would it feel to experience that, right? Because it's not just enough to say, oh, you want to experience, like I said before, you want to go sip espresso in Italy, although it is pretty amazing. And the picture alone does wonders. And have pizza in Naples. That experience, I realized I actually use that, that example pretty often. But that experience there, right? How would that feel? Like, just get acquainted with the emotions of what that would be like, the excitement, seeing like this whole dance and romance when they're making coffee. And then who do you have to become in order to experience that? See, right now, it may feel like a long shot, right? The trip may cost you $3,000, something like that. It doesn't cost that much. It depends how you travel. But let's say $3,000, but at this moment, you're looking at $3,000, like, oh, fuck. Damn, where am I supposed to come up with that kind of money? Who do you have to become now as a result in order to get that? Maybe you're working more. Maybe you start your side hustle and you're putting more energy into your side hustle. It is going to push you because this experience is so strong and so clear. Now, all of a sudden, in order to reach that, the other areas lift up as well. And then once you experience that, forget it. It's going to be like gravy on top of the turkey. I was going to say on top of the cake, but that doesn't really make sense. And now all of a sudden you come back, you're so overjoyed because you had the experience of a lifetime. And now all of a sudden you are a world traveler or an espresso enthusiast. And all of a sudden it shapes everything else around you, all the other desires that you have. Because now you had to change your perspective. And I'm using travel as just an example. The same thing is with food, right? You participate in the competition like I did. And now all of a sudden, food is no longer food. Food is energy. You look at food differently. Some of you, that might scare the shit out of you. You're like, oh God, I don't want to take the enjoyment out of food. No, it's not that. It's means to an end, right? Your food is your energy source. You could put food in here that's going to fuel and make your machine thrive, or you could have food that's going to make you sluggish and feel like shit. So it's only beneficial for you. So again, who do you have to become in order to have that experience? So you could have your cake and you can eat it too. It just requires you to get super crystal clear about what it is that you want to experience, attaching to those feelings. So this way it feels real and there's this anticipation about taking that trip, learning that skill, starting that business, getting that beach body, whatever it is for you. Acquaint yourself with the feelings, then who do you have to become? And then when you start looking at all the things you do, now you're building the strategy. Now you're like, okay, this is what I want. Oh my God, it feels so good. What do I have to do to get there? Oh, well, I'm going to have to do X, Y, and Z. And even if you don't say, who do I have to become? Your identity is going to change in the process, and your identity is the strongest thing in your life that keeps you true. You always hold true to your identity, right? Someone who, I say some people call themselves lazy. Well, what do I say? I'm lazy, right? And they'll do things to stay true to that identity because you don't want to prove yourself wrong. That'd be lying to yourself. I'm a world traveler, even times where I don't even want to travel. And there are times I'm like, no, I have to get, I have to get a couple trips in this year, right? And then once I do, I have a great experience, and I'm so happy that I did. But if I didn't have that identity, then it wouldn't take me out of like my bedroom, for example. I mentioned before many times on this podcast that usually when I travel in November, I'm so nervous about the trip. I book a trip. I'm like, well, actually, I don't even book the trip. I hem and haw. I'm like, should I book it? Should I not book it? And I go, and I literally will look at a flight and the destination on YouTube, and I'll do this for periods of weeks. And then eventually I'll book. And then all of a sudden, when I get back from that trip, I'm like, where the hell am I going next? And I start getting really excited. And then after that, I'm like, right when I get back, I'm like, I am booking another trip now. I get back, I book the next trip, and then now it's planned. But then there was this lull. The lull between March and November when I take the next trip. Now, all of a sudden, I start to get comfortable and I start to fall back in old patterns. But having the identity is what enables me to take the action because I have an identity that I have to uphold. And as a result, this whole cycle just kind of keeps repeating and repeating. But it takes having a higher vision for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. It is very much spur of the moment. This is important because you deserve not just to rough it in life. Like it's not about like the grunting it through life. Then what the hell are you doing it all for? It's about enjoying it along the way and enjoying the process and celebrating when you make those steps, celebrating it. And the celebration is, building up to that as well as having it. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, comment, or ask a question, you can do so by visiting my website at www.donnyrouse.com, DONNYRAUS.com. There, you can also sign up to my email list, which I highly encourage. If any of this sounds the least bit appealing to you, and you're like, you know what? He seems like he has like the life thing kind of figured out. He's traveling the world, he's, health, and sign up to the email list. I am going to be doing a Live Your One Life course where I am going to bring you through the whole visioning process, where you will get super crystal clear about the things you want to experience and who you want to become. And as a result, that is going to be the pull. Rather than pushing and trying to literally get yourself through your day, it's going to be the thing that pulls you forward. You guys, you deserve to live the life of your dreams. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to experience the fullness of life without putting it off. So I hope you will consider signing up. At the very least, if you like this, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single beat and you stay inspired. Remember, you only get one life. Live it. God bless, and I will see you again soon.